Felix, obviously, like we were going to begin today's show talking about the Democrats' capitulation on the ending the longest government shutdown and what that portends. But like, I would like to contrast that, like the Democrats once again playing the Washington Generals to the Harlem Globetrotters, in the context of what is currently going down regarding the House Oversight Committee's release of about 20,000 of Jeffrey Epstein's emails. I would just like to say at the top of the show here, my thoughts go to our good friend and colleague, Matt Christman thought, undefeated. Because when you see these, I mean, I thought the birthday cards were bad enough. And my question is, how much more of this shit can we take? Or how much more of this can Donald Trump take? Because, like, I know I'm going to be eating my words in, a month or a year's time. But, like, Felix, for the first time, my brain is beginning to form around the thought of, can Donald Trump possibly survive this? Because these emails are so brazen and so ridiculous that it is just like, I don't even know where to go. I mean, where do you want to start with this one, Felix? Because like, it's the hits just keep coming.
Okay. So, first of all, we know they're authentic because Jeffrey Epstein types like an idiot.
It's amazing.
He cannot spell. He punctuates shit all wrong. That's how you know this is all 100% real. So the first thing that caught people's eyes was Trump is that dog that hasn't barked yet, which, that is someone of a 90 IQ trying to sound like a James Ellroy character, but, very interesting. That was obviously the first thing, but I would say the first thing that caught my attention after that was the thing about Trump walking into a glass door because he was gawking at a swimming pool full of 15-year-olds.
This is from Jeffrey Epstein to Landon Thomas Jr., who was a financial reporter at the New York Times, who, while this was going on, was a journalist from the New York Times, was alerting Jeffrey Epstein and warning him about other journalists digging into his life and crimes and saying, don't worry, I've been covering for you. I've told everyone you're a great guy. That's insane. This is what Jeffrey Epstein writes to, once again, New York Times financial reporter Landon Thomas Jr. Read the Uz feed regarding my airplane logs and Hawaiian Tropic contest. Have them ask my houseman about Donad, written in his shitty typing, about Donad almost walking through a door, leaving his nose print on the glass as young women were swimming in the pool, and he was so focused he walked straight into the door. I said it before, I'll say it now. My man is moving like the rapist Three Stooges.
Yeah. No, yeah. He is Mr. Bean, directed by Abel Ferrara. Truly horrifying. I mean, going back to the question of like, can he survive this? How can he survive this? I mean, that remains to be seen. It wouldn't surprise me, right, if there is like, it turns out there is like video. There are images. And one way or the other, like they have an easy out. Like, oh, he had a stroke, he had a heart attack. But I do think that like the 25-30% of this country that would be with him no matter what, like the same people who were with Bush in 2008, this is not a deal breaker for them because, I mean, those people, they've always thought it's okay for like a 50-year-old to fuck a 14-year-old, They don't consider that pedophilia.
They're already preparing that argument, Felix.
But, it could get to a point where it's like, okay, well, you have those people, but if no one if even like fucking Senator Nancy Mace does not want to be seen with this guy, and it becomes impossible to govern, then I am interested to see what happens.
Well, I mean, he's already kind of like lost control of the MAGA coalition. He was making personal appeals to like Lauren Boebert the other day to get her to like, hold her vote back from further releasing these files, which they have not agreed to. And I think we're getting to the point where like they've delayed the seating of that Democratic the congresswoman I forget, in the special election result. Like they've delayed a possibility of this vote long enough, but we're getting to the point where like it's going to pass and he's going to be put in the position of having to veto it.
Well, she did get sworn in. She did get sworn in. And I mean, I really do not want to give the Democrats any credit here. But like, you know, I could see someone arguing that their calculation was that like these would be more damaging. But to that, you would have, it's like, it does seem like these could have come out anyway, you know, regardless if the government was in session or not. But I don't know. Every step of the way, I think this would have been damaging to him and the political project. But he handled it just about like the worst he possibly could have in the lead up. Like he did everything you would do in order to indicate that there is like horrifically damaging shit in there. There is a universe where he goes, I don't care what's in there. We had a falling out and he probably lied about me. And between that and like Democratic incompetence, that's enough for like 45% of people not to give a shit, you know? It would probably galvanize Democrats and Democratic sympathetic independents, but I could see it playing out like that because certainly we've been there before. You know, one would have thought that his government arresting and then killing Epstein would have been a deal breaker. But he became president again after that. But this go around, he pretty much from the get-go was like, don't release those fake videos of me having sex with children that I didn't even enjoy that much.
And, you know, like, I talk about, like, that, like, if you adopt, like, the most conspiratorial style of sort of understanding or like whatever you imagine about how the U.S. government and, like, the heights of financial, academic, Silicon Valley, all of it works, like you would be vindicated almost 100% of the time. And like, on top of that, like lesser talked about because it's like it's based on other publicly available documents, but like right before this latest tranche of emails was released, I got to give a shout out to Dropsite and Ryan Grimm because they've had a series of stories leading up to this, which should prove beyond any shadow of a doubt whatsoever that Jeffrey Epstein was at the very least a high-level Mossad asset in that like he had a Mossad agent staying at his house in New York for weeks at a time. He was arranging wire transfers for Israeli spies. He was the go-between that created a back channel to the government of Russia for Israel during the Syrian civil war. That there was like contacts between him and the Mongolian government that he put in charge of Israel. It's like, the things that we've implied or said on this show, which should be obvious to anyone who's like even glanced at this story. It's crazy to just have it be outright confirmed at the level that these emails and that the drip drop of public disclosure around this story would imply.
Yeah, I mean, those were So there was a lot of good stuff well, not good stuff, but pretty telling tranches in that Dropsite report. I thought that the one that caught my eye the most was, did you see that one where it was the spy who was always with Ehud Barak when he would go to Epstein's house? It was about how he needed to pick up what he termed as Bluetooth headphones that were being kept at a hotel somewhere in Midtown, and that he would return the headphones and give the money back to Epstein. Clearly, like, this is a code. There were other, I don't think this was part of the drop set tranche, but more the tranche released by the House Oversight Committee, but the one that involved Bannon, where they talk about how Epstein says he's giving Bannon like $5,000 in Visa gift cards for his birthday. This was set in March, and Bannon's birthday is in November, I think. But there was clearly a lot of like, I mean, I would assume like this is just outright trafficking. They're just like moving trafficked girls around. But we really, if not that, like money laundering or fucking something.
Well, I mean, that is the funny thing, is to think about like, if you could have like shown these emails to someone who was obsessed with like Pizzagate and QAnon back in like 2017, I mean, obviously like there's the intimations of like they're speaking in code. But like, to me, the most amazing thing about these emails is that there is no compunction whatsoever among these guys. Because like, it's all just guys like emailing Jeffrey Epstein on email being like, had a great weekend, winking emoji. And then like continuing to retain his services as a quote financial advisor years past him pleading guilty to solicitation of a minor for the purposes of sex. And one of the guys who was like basically best friends with him up until he, killed himself, is fucking Larry Summers from Harvard. The emails between him and Larry Summers are incredible. I'm just gonna read here. Like, okay,
yeah.
this is Larry Summers' email to Jeffrey Epstein from 2017. SoftBank deputy guy I liked and seemed aware and honest, San. Lots of slathering to Saudis. I yipped about inclusion. I observed that half the IQ in the world was possessed by women, without mentioning they are more than 51% of the population. Mnuchin plumbs new depths. War seems more likely than I used to think. DJT is the world's luckiest guy in terms of opposition, economy, etc. Still think his world will collapse. I'm trying to figure out why American elite think if you murder your baby by beating an abandonment, it must be irrelevant to your admission to Harvard, but hit on a few women 10 years ago and you can't work at a network or a think tank. Do not repeat this insight. They're just sending emails about this with the disclaimer, do not repeat or share. And I love that he says, DJT is the world's luckiest guy in terms of opposition.
You
Dude,
mean
like,
you?
You're the guy that every Democratic fucking politician defers to over and over again. And like you're best friends with the sex trafficking guy that also pimps out girls to Donald Trump. So yeah, he's damn right he's lucky in his opposition.
I mean, this goes to something that I saw people posting your tweet from about 6 or 7 years ago, where you said pedophiles use this to signal to each other. Watch out for this on Twitter. It's the globe emoji.
Yeah.
No one has ever been more vindicated, because like there is so much like skeevy, awful shit in the Summers emails. Namely, Summers' wife getting like $500,000 from Epstein for whatever stupid thing she has at Harvard, while Summers basically begs Epstein to source him some pussy.
Yeah.
But the parts that deal with like Epstein's actual beliefs, Larry Summers
is literally third way shit.
Larry Summers is his favorite guy. Epstein, like one of his most earnest moments in this entire tranche of data is when he's sharing like the no labels presidential roadmap for 2020. Like that is like he goes, okay, look, obviously I am a evil pimp who traffics 15-year-olds, wheels and deals for politicians, and I'm a lifelong Mossad agent. But this no label shit, this is what it's all for. This is what I care about.
The other email between Summers and Epstein was great. Is that Summers writes to Epstein like seeking his advice on how to like do alpha kino to a young woman he's trying to seduce.
Oh, God.
And then he says, so this is March 16th, 2019. This is like a couple months. This is like 5 months before he was fucking murdered in prison. Larry Summers writes, we talked on phone. Then I can't talk later. Didn't think I can talk tomorrow. I said, what are you up to? She said, I'm busy. I said, awfully coy you are. And then I said, did you really rearrange the weekend we were going to be together because guy number 3 was coming? She said, no, his schedule changed after we changed our plans. I said, okay, I got to go. Call me when you feel like it. Tone was not of good feeling. I didn't want to be in a gift-giving competition while being the friend without benefits. Dude, you are in your 60s.
Yeah,
and you're talking about being in the friend zone? You are like one of the most powerful guys in the United States, and you're like, but the girl I'm trying to fuck canceled plans on me to see her other boyfriend. Oh, I'm tired of being the friend without benefits. Epstein's response to him was, she's smart, making you pay for past errors. Ignore the daddy. I'm going to go out with a motorcycle guy. You reacted well. Annoyed shows caring. No whining showed strength.
Like he's Pei Mei from Kill Bill. I mean, all of this is great. First of all, Larry Summers saying to this hapless woman, am I in your roster? Like, what able-bodied woman, what woman who has like transportation and is at least of an age where she can rent a car, she has a roster that Larry Summers is a member of? Like that, like when she's home for Thanksgiving and she's like, I want some dick, who's desperate enough that they'll answer my text at 3 a.m. Larry Summers. That's great, but it's also this is the most sympathetic that Epstein comes off at, pretty much ever, because everyone can relate to him in this position where he's trying to do like whatever evil thing. He's playing Call of Duty, and his most annoying friend is like, "Hey, can I talk to you about my situationship?"
Another email here from Epstein. This is from Andres Serrano. Says, Jeffrey, I was prepared to vote against Donald Trump for all the right reasons, but I'm so disgusted by the outrage over grab them by the pussy that I may give him my sympathy vote. I'm sure Bill C said things too.
This is the greatest voter in human history. Yeah. He got polarized into voting for Trump by the Access Hollywood tape. This is incredible.
But like, what I mean is like, you know, I don't feel too vindicated by this because like anyone with half a brain could have made like the same conclusion. But like, we see here like, and look, like this is a political cudgel that's going to hurt Donald Trump. But like, the reason it's taken this long and like that there is still a reticence here is that like obviously the Democratic Party from like Bill Clinton and Larry Summers on down is deeply implicated in this. But it's not just that. It is also like the commanding heights of academia, Silicon Valley, and the entire American meritocracy, which seems to be populated entirely by fucking wretched losers who need a billionaire's pimp help to fucking talk to or even meet women. Felix, did you see the one email to him? I forget what guy it is, but there was this one guy and he was emailing Jeffrey and he goes, Jeffrey, please help. I need to know. Is she a hooker?
Yeah. Like, one of the most illustrative emails for me is someone term searched Ricky Gervais and buried deep in these like thousands of emails that they're either coded discussions of money laundering, Israeli influence ops, blackmailing, Larry Summers begging for pussy. There's this one email where he's talking about like, it's really weird. It's like a pitch document. And it's like a show that bridges that seeks to explore creativity in science and arts. And he lists out like 16 potential episodes of this show that never came to be, which thank God it sounded horrible. But the people involved would have been like Ricky Gervais talking to Steven Pinker.
Yeah.
like it is the greatest collection of sort of like
one of them was
sort of middle
my favorite was Sarah Silverman and Nobel Prize winning economist Paul Krugman.
Yeah. Yeah,
Woody Allen talks about the human condition with linguist Noam Chomsky.
This is the greatest indictment of like America's extreme middle-brow thinkers.
Yeah.
No one is like, obviously the Teals, Trumps, bandits of the world heavily implicated, but the rank and file of this sex trafficking operation seems to be airport novelists. But it really is like every middle brow thinker in America was knee deep in this shit. But yeah, it is hard to feel vindicated because I think a year ago, Peter Thiel was on Joe Rogan's podcast saying, "Oh, I actually had dinner with him in like 2014." And nothing fucking like these people will say it openly.
Felix, my favorite one of these,
the guy who kills his boyfriends, and just nothing.
My favorite one of these pairings of thinkers is actress Andie MacDowell and evolutionary biologist Richard Dawkins. It's like, this is what I mean about like you're right. This is so like just middle brow American like boomer like brain rot, but like. I know the phrase "the banality of evil" gets tossed around quite a bit, but like just like the ease with which like musing about a TV show in which fucking Sarah Silverman would talk to Paul Krugman, being underwritten by like just it is rape and blackmail all the way down at every fucking level. And like, Felix, you brought this up in the past about like all these guys who kept paying him millions of dollars every year for his financial advice after he'd gotten a sweetheart deal and done jail time for soliciting a teenager for sex. They're like, oh, his financial advice and tax planning was just so indispensable. You know what's one thing that's not in any of these emails? Any financial advice at all.
I mean, that has always been the most insulting fucking thing in the world. The idea that Leon Black, a billionaire financier, one of the most storied careers in private equity, that he could not find like a good accountant and that he paid Jeffrey Epstein $200 million fucking dollars for tax advice. The idea that any of these people who had spent 40 years on Wall Street, they never found anyone as good as this guy. I mean, I feel like there was around the time of his final arrest in during the first Trump administration, there was this attempt to paint Epstein as like just this mastermind, this Svengali who you just could not, if you
he can't even spell.
He is an idiot. He is a charmless buffoon. He is an annoying, stupid pedophile. There is no expertise this guy could offer anyone except literally the physical procurement of rape victims.
And like, I mean, this is another thing that like, I mean, this is speculation on my part, but we see another thing is revealed in these emails is like the fact that like Epstein, quote, when I was done with my 20-year-old girlfriend, I, quote, gave her to Donald Trump. And then there's like intimations about their falling out where like Donald Trump was angry that Jeffrey Epstein poached girls from his Mar-a-Lago spa. And like, and I know that supposedly fell out over a land deal in Palm Beach, but like, I'm like, this is speculation on my part, but like when I see images of Mar-a-Lago and what I imagine goes on there and like why it's like Donald Trump's base of operations is I think Donald Trump basically started to like think he could do what Epstein does on his own.
Oh, 100%.
I think Mar-a-Lago is just another hub of sex trafficking and pimping.
This is the guy that tried to go up against the NFL.
Yeah. No. You're right.
And this is like sort of like dark boomer ideology. The same thing where they say, show up to the company you want to work at with a broom. Don't go up to the Israelis and say, hey, I could run your blackmail op better. Just do it on spec.
Yeah. And like, I guess like where this leaves us now is that like, this is, what Chapo Trap House was saying back in 2019 is now like, is there anyone in the respectable media who can deny or try to shade the fact that one, the current president of the United States is an obese rapist and pedophile, And that 2, his longtime good friend and associate Jeffrey Epstein is also a sex trafficking pedophile who is running a blackmail ring at the behest of a foreign intelligence agency, i.e. that intelligence agency being the Mossad and a foreign country being Israel. Like, this is not a conspiracy theory anymore. Like, I would love to see someone try to argue against that or try to say, maybe that's a little too strong.
Everyone is passing around that Ezra Klein thing from about a year ago.
Oh my God. You want to talk about something that's aged worse than anything? And that was only from a month or 2 ago.
Oh, I thought that was from...
Oh, no. He said that very recently. That was this year he said that.
How... I mean, it would be idiotic to say at any time, but like... You have to figure that's just like wishful thinking, right? On his part. That he knows, someone told him, hey, Larry Summers is all over these emails. And he's looking for any way out for Summers or any of these fucking idiots he admires.
A way out for the hegemonic worldview that he represents and shills for every day.
Yeah.
Which, like, the maintenance of, as he's aware, requires increasingly more tortured readings of reality to get your mind around what it actually is.
Like,
and to preserve the credibility of the people who are its leading lights, like Larry Summers.
The last person in the world who believes that tax advice shit. I mean, I would say it's insulting because it is, but it's more pathetic. It is more, everyone in 2025 is Homer Simpson, with the now green submarine sandwich fished out of the trash can.
I can't stand
but
that.
Especially Ezra.